welcome back. And thank you for joining for another whiskey review. Or if this is your first time visiting my channel, just welcome. Regardless, today we're going to take a look at a Kavalan Solist Oloroso sherry cask maturation. So this is a Taiwanese whiskey, single malt. And this is aged exclusively in sherry oak. So I've brought you one other Kavalan, and I'm gonna put this little case, nice little case by the way over here, has a nice little jewelry box lock right here, and I'll give you tasting notes on the inside, and this nice gold leaf, so very nice presentation. But as I was mentioning earlier, I brought one other whiskey from this distillery. It's something, or it's a distillery that I'm really finding myself enjoying. I have a couple of other bottlings that I'm gonna bring you guys here soon, guys and ladies, and that one's a little bit older than this particular one, but I'll get into all those details now. This particular bottling is a 6-year-old whiskey. They always say the bottling date. They'll give you a cask number. Usually here it's very light on this one, so it's hard to pick up. And a couple of buddies of mine, Dustin and Keith, showed me how to read the ages on that. So this one is a 2012 vintage, and it was bottled in 2019, so not quite 7 years old. But actually this is one, this whiskey, since it's made in Taiwan, where the climate gets a lot hotter in the summertime as opposed to Scotland. Very similar to what I guess the weather's like in like Louisville, Kentucky, where a lot of great bourbons are made, where they get more cask maturation, a lot more of an age, feel, and taste as opposed to scotches. So very much like, say, an Octomore. This one really tends to, the better bottlings tend to be around this 5-6 year old time period. So we're gonna see what we think about this one and go from there. This is another obscure bottle. Less than 500 were made. I looked it up. I think it was 485 or 465 total bottles of this. So this is another single cask bottling. Again, put into the bottle in 2019 and distilled and put in the barrel in 2012. So again, this particular distillery is one I'm quickly falling in love with for heavily sherried whiskeys. Let me tell you a little bit why. This bad boy comes in at 58.6% ABV, 58.6. And again, this one is Oloroso sherry matured only. Strong Oloroso sherry. If you were ever lucky enough to have the old Macallan cask strength, that initial just wallop you get the first time you put your nose in the glass, you're getting a lot of that here. It's not as much ginger as Macallan, but in its place, the distillery characteristic that I've been picking up is this dusty oak note. I noticed it first in, say, like a King in Kentucky, also noticed it in a Linkwood 37, but for whatever reason I noticed that same dusty oak note in this one as well. In pretty much every Kavalan I've tried, I've had the exact same dusty oak note as long as it was a sherry cask matured vintage. All right, so once you get past that dusty oak, and it is glorious. I love it. You get a very wine grape note, which makes sense from an Oloroso sherry cask. But you almost get like grape skin. It's that strong. But extremely fruity. Very sweet, sugary on the nose. There's cinnamon. Again, dusty oak. Maybe a little bit of bitter chocolate. That's also a note that I will get off these heavily sherried whiskeys from this distillery, is I get a little bit of a bitter oak along with that dusty oak note. And what I want to say more about that dusty oak note, think lemon pledge when you wipe off really nice wood after like a day or so, and just that smell that will come off that wood, just that dusty oak. And actually, now that I said lemon pledge, maybe I've talked myself into it, but I get a nice little lemon note on this as well. Yeah, it's just sugar and lemon and fruit and grape skin and spice. Excellent nose on this one. All right, let's take a sip, see what we think. That is rich and sweet. Woo! It's It's caramel, sugar cane almost. Then the vanilla comes in. And just like those classic cask strength, young sherry notes again that I got from the old Macallan cask strength. To me, this distillery really replaced a hole in my heart that the old Macallan cask strengths I can't get on a regular basis anymore. This delivers a lot of what those, at least what made them special to me, plus that lovely dusted oak note that I get from pretty much all the heavily sherried ones, and this nice rich fruitiness, which I prefer over the ginger note I got from the other ones. This is really my go-to sherry bomb these days. Is shockingly not even a single malt whiskey anymore. It's a single malt Taiwanese whiskey. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought? But they're doing great things over there. Great things. I had my first offering from the distillery from Master of Malt. I ordered a few bottles. They sent me a free gift. It was just a basic offering, like their basic $40 bottle. I can't remember what they call it. And I wasn't really impressed with it. Didn't really know where they were kind of going with it, but I thought it was still a quality whiskey. It just didn't excite me. Then some of my whiskey mates turned me on to some of these better bottlings, Dustin Silvestri and my buddy Keith Clark, and these have really changed my opinion on really what is a great sherried whiskey and where you need to go to region-wise to make sure you get that. And really, it's not any special reason why. I mean, they have a nice climate, but you know, they're clearly using extremely good casks, good Oloroso sherry casks. On top of that, they're putting in a high ABV as far as the bottling date, and you're not letting it get too over oaked, because this distillery can get a little bit of a bitter chocolate note the longer it goes on in the cask. So 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds, and I do have a 10-year-old that I'm going to bring you another private bottling. It does get a little bit bitter chocolate on there, but it's something I kind of like. So it's not a turn for me, but so if you want the brighter fruits, I'm just saying stick with the ones around 5 years old. Again, very similar to Octomores. Some of the best ones are around 5, 6 years old. Some of the ones that are 10 years old, you think are going to be richer or better. Haven't really been the case, but it's always fun to explore. All right, now, did I put water in this? I don't know. I think I did. It smells like I did. I could be wrong. Let me put another drop in here just in case. Try to open up a little bit so I can give you guys the full range. Yeah, I must have put water in it before because it's really not changing any much with that little drop. Okay, so with water, I'll say that the richness took a slight step back. Still sugary. Still getting that lemon. I'm also getting maybe like some type of a cleaner note. A tad bit of that, like an alcohol. I tell you what, I almost think I'm influenced, like hand sanitizers now being, you know, that we're in August of 2020. Obviously, everyone in the States are using them. And we have some inconsistencies as far as hand sanitizer. And sometimes I get a little bit of the hand sanitizer note in whiskeys where I think they just maybe had the ABV slightly too high. And they will still come out just a little bit. Now, that's not off-putting to me at all. I like a punch. Maybe it was intended to be that way, but a little bit of that cleaner note comes out with a little dab of water. All right, last sip time. We'll give it a score. Boy, I cannot recommend these Kavalans highly enough when it comes to the heavily sherried ones. Beautiful whiskeys. Everything you want in a sherry bomb. Plus the dusty oak note that I really love. Beautiful chocolate. It's bitter at first, and then it kind of just subsides, almost transitions into a milk chocolate. So a lot of things going on with it. As far as a whiskey score, again, this is a bottle I'd pay $200 for. So again, I would say this is a solid 90 out of 100 on this particular one. Great sherry whiskey. If you're a fan of them, definitely think it'd be good to get your hands on it if you possibly can, being that there's less than 500 bottles. Another obscure whiskey that I'm bringing you folks. So if you're one of the few people that were fortunate enough to try it, love to know what you guys think. Until next time, like to see your opinions in the comment section. And I wish you, as always, happy drinking.